guys, today I'm going to show you how to make eggplant rollatini, and you just need a few simple ingredients: eggplant, spinach, some mozzarella cheese, some ricotta cheese, sauce that you prefer. I haven't tried this before, but I'm gonna, because they didn't have the one that I usually get, but I'm going to give this a try because I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and a little bit of olive oil. All right, let's get started. Okay, first you're going to start out with slicing your eggplant. I rinsed it off. You're going to cut off the ends, of course. And I like to take the skin off, so I'm going to just take the skin off. And I'm sure this is probably not the right knife for this, but this is what I'm using. And just roughly get off as much of the skin, because the skin's pretty tough. So I like to get it off. Oh, and then as you're doing this and getting your eggplant ready, you're going to want to start preheating your oven to about like 350 degrees. Now that you got most of the skin off, we're going to try to slice it into strips. And I try to make this like about like that. It's nice strips. You want to be able to roll them up. Okay, now that we got the eggplant all sliced up, we're going to take a lined cookie sheet, and I've lined it with parchment paper so it won't stick. And we're going to start laying down the eggplant, because we're going to want to pre-cook some of it so that way it's easier to roll when we put the stuffing inside. So it's a little time consuming to have to do extra steps, but it's so worth it in the end. It's so good. And now to each one, we're going to drizzle on top a little bit of olive oil. The olive oil absorbs into the eggplant pretty quickly, so you want to make sure you kind of drizzle it a little bit all over, and a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt, and we're going to put it in the oven at 350 for about 8 minutes. So while we're waiting for the eggplant to cook, we're going to start on our filling. So I'm going to take a good handful of baby spinach, so that's going to be mixed in with the cheese. The more greens that you can mix into your dishes, the better. So, oh, let me get my knife. Okay, and we're going to just do like a nice rough chop. So you want to bunch it together and just rough chop the spinach leaves so you don't have like big chunks of spinach, because it's going to cook down in the oven. But at least you can hide some extra greens in your dish. And spinach is pretty tasteless when you're covering it with all kinds of extra flavors like sauce and cheese. So we're going to put that into our bowl. Okay, so in our bowl with the spinach, we're going to add in a cup of the ricotta, and this is the brand that my family likes. This is what we use. And I'm going to be using a cup for about 6 of the eggplant rollatinis. So here is our cup. I'm going to put that in there. Next, we are going to add in a 1/4 cup of some mozzarella cheese. And I could have shredded my own mozzarella, but I was feeling a little lazy today, so I got the pre-shredded, and we're going to add that into our mixture as well. And now we're going to mix that all together. And again, the spinach is going to cook down, and that is your filling. Ta-da! Okay, so I just pulled out the eggplant. In my oven was at 350 for 8 minutes, and you can probably still see it's steaming. So I'm going to let it cool before I start to work with it. But I wanted to show you, you don't want it cooked all the way through, but you want it enough to where it is flexible so you can roll it out. Okay, so now we're going to start assembling our rollatinis. So I'm going to start with my sauce, and I'm just going to spoon some on the bottom of my baking dish. I gotta tell you, I've never tried this sauce before, but I can tell you it smells really, really good. So just a little bit on the bottom. Set that aside, and we're going to start with our eggplant. So all we're going to do is just take one of the eggplants, take a scoop of filling, fill it up in there. And I've also made these with like a slice of ham in it, which is also really good. And place it on our dish. So I'm pulling off the eggplant off of the parchment paper just to make sure it doesn't stick before I add the filling. And like a good thing of filling in each one and into our dish. And make sure you put the side down, that way it holds together better. Last one. And that mixture, perfectly made, enough for one good scoop for each rollatini. So there we go. And now let me go wash my hands. We're going to go back to our sauce, and we're going to spoon a little bit more sauce on each one. Okay. And now we're going to sprinkle some more of the mozzarella cheese on top. Okay, and we're going to put this in our preheated oven, and I want to say about 20 minutes to 25 minutes, but I'm going to double check it and I'll let you know how long it takes. Before I put it in the oven, I just wanted to give you more of a close-up to look how beautiful that looks. Okay, it's been 25 minutes at 350 in my oven exactly, and they just came out, and the cheese is all nice and melted, started to brown a little bit. Some of the stuff did come out of the sides, but really not a lot. If I would have had like another one here and had these side by side, or two, maybe, or even two probably, it would have kept them more stuffed in there, but I think they still held together very nicely. They look delicious. They smell even better. And that's it. 25 minutes and they're out of the oven. And once I get it cooled off, I will plate it up and show you how it looks. And there we are. Look at that. Everything stayed nice and stuffed. The eggplant is nice and tender, not falling apart, but not too crunchy either. It's like just the perfect tenderness. And also kid approved by my 9-year-old son who wanted more, Mom. I hope you give it a try, and if you do, let me know. Thanks for watching.